So Shaylor, so your expertise is the Black Series, which is the newer series that they probably started what, 4 years ago?
It started in 2013. The first release was Boba Fett, Comic-Con exclusive. It had Han and Carbonite as display package. I grew up in the dark times, and I grew up in the dark times in backwoods New Hampshire. So I was lucky if I ever came across one of the figures at a yard sale. I'd always loved Star Wars. It had always been there. I was born in '86, so I came into the world with Star Wars and never had to live without it, luckily. And so I never had the vintage figures. Every once in a while, one of my friends might have some that maybe their older brother had, but I could never find them. I was lucky enough that I could find the X-Men that were, on TV at the time at our one store in town. I think it was Stan Lee's Kamikaze in LA, and came across, oh, that's cool. I was like, I'm going to get some of these. But with my age, I also grew up in the age of Pokemon, which is the greatest marketing strategy ever. They literally ingrained into kids, you have to get them all. Get them all. So ever since then, I've been a completist. I try not to be with this line, but that's gone wrong, and now I'm just trying not to be like a double collector, one in box, one out of the box. Some of the figures I actually have 20 of. Some of the troopers I started troop building, unfortunately, from my bank account. But the Black Series right now has 3 distinct lines. They started with the orange line, which had a run of 14 figures. Number 13 actually never got produced because of the way of the box. It was supposed to be Chewbacca, but the window was in a way that if they put Chewbacca in, the top of his head, you couldn't see it. So they just never made it and pushed it back to the next one. So on that one, there's 1 through 14 minus 13, and they did a prototype Boba Fett that was exclusive. Anyone here collect the Black Series? So you guys know how hard it is collecting some of the exclusives, some of the stores. Sometimes, like with this last Force Friday, which was yesterday, you may not even know about an exclusive until the day of. There has been some complaints on the distribution and assortment of what characters are made. We have a lot of pig warmers. One of the biggest pig warmers that we've had in this line is Constable Zuvio, which, if you guys don't collect Black Series, you probably won't know who that is because he was going to be in The Force Awakens and he was cut. But making these figures, these 6-inch series, there are 20 points of articulation. There's good detail. A lot of them have soft goods and good paint apps. But Zuvio, they start making these years ahead of time. So they were making them, and then they don't know it's going to get cut from the movie, and all of a sudden there's this character out there that wasn't in the movie. No one wanted him, so he's the pig warmer that you can get for $5, $1. I've seen. There's the blue line, which ran 2014 to 15, and then the current line is the red box line, which started with the Force Friday 1 for the Force Awakens line. There's some vintage characters. There's some really neat, interesting characters. All these characters are done kind of screen accurate. Some of the characters in the red box line, they're not any characters that we've ever seen on screen. We actually have 4 characters that are from the Star Wars Rebels show. So it's real interesting to see the artists actually taking, it's one thing to, make a Luke Skywalker. You have a realistic, person, Mark Hamill, to go off of to make that figure. But with Thrawn, Kanan, Hera, Sabine from Rebels, there was no real lifelike portrayal of them. They had to kind of make it. So those are kind of some of my favorite figures. And then besides the 6-inch line, they do make a 3 3/4 highly articulated Black Series. It's kind of gone in and out, and right now it's only a Walmart exclusive. It's kind of been hit or miss just because of the price point. Hasbro has said that it doesn't cost them much more to make a 6-inch figure as it does a 3 3/4, and it's very hard for them to have that level of articulation, the paint apps, and actually come in at a price that's what people will pay for a 3 3/4 figure. For the 40th anniversary, they started this custom line. It's ended now. So when the original figures came out, the movies came out, they realized, oh, you know, there's a big demand for these figures, and we don't have the figures. So what they did was they sold an empty box with a promise that you will get these figures. It was called the Early Bird Box, and what they did was for the 40th, they kind of recreated the packaging with the Vader box, and then they did the 12 original figures in a vintage Kenner style card for the 6-inch, and then they also did 2 exclusives. We have the Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, which is probably one of the most single expensive figures right now. They're going for about $200 to $300 on the secondary market, and then we get a GameStop exclusive for that line.